The Letter She Never Read, Story of Unspoken Love. He sat at the edge of the cafe's outdoor patio, sipping a plain black coffee like it was the last luxury he could afford. His coat was old and too big for him, his shoes frayed, and a canvas bag hung loosely from his shoulder. To the regulars, he was just that man. The one who always sat alone. The one who never spoke unless spoken to. Every evening, as the sky turned soft with the glow of sunset, he'd reach into that canvas bag and pull out the same envelope, yellowed by time, sealed and unmarked, and stare at it like it held his entire soul. No one knew his name. Most didn't care. One group of college kids often joked about him when they passed by. "Bet it's just a grocery list inside," one of them snorted. "Nah," another chimed in. "Probably love letters to someone who forgot he existed." They laughed, oblivious to the truth. That the letter in his hand had once held the power to change two lives. Long ago, before the streets and the silence, he was a promising journalist. Not the headline-chasing type, but one who found beauty in overlooked stories, small acts of humanity, forgotten faces, unseen kindness. It was during a volunteer assignment at a city library that he met her. She was gentle but sharp, with a mind that moved fast and a heart that moved slowly. They were never quite official. No declarations. No labels. But every evening, after hours of shelving books and sorting donations, they'd find themselves in the back aisle by the poetry section. Talking. Laughing. Sometimes just sitting quietly. He knew he loved her. Desperately. But fear held him back. He told himself it wasn't the right time. His career was still unstable, his apartment barely livable, and she was from a world that expected more. So he wrote her a letter. A confession. A blueprint of a future he dreamed of building with her. He planned to hand it to her after their final volunteer day. But she didn't show up. Instead, someone else did. A man in a black suit, holding an envelope of his own. She'd been in an accident the night before. A hit and run. Critical condition. Transferred to another state for treatment, under her family's care. No forwarding number. No way to visit. Just gone. He kept the letter. Hoping. Waiting. For months, he checked every hospital record he could access. Searched her name on social media. Wrote to every old address he could find. Nothing. His career crumbled under the weight of grief and obsession. He stopped writing. Stopped showing up to his own life. Eventually, he disappeared into the background of the city, another invisible soul among many. But he never let go of that letter. What he didn't know, what no one knew, was that she had survived. And not only survived, but forgotten. The accident had left her with partial memory loss. The last year of her life, a haze of missing faces and moments. Her family, protective and wealthy, shielded her from anything painful, insisting the past should stay buried. They changed her number, moved her across the country, gave her a new start, but something in her heart always felt unfinished. Years later, she returned to the city, not for memories but for work. A temporary assignment at a youth arts foundation, coincidentally located just blocks from the cafe where he still sat. One day, she walked by. He didn't recognize her at first. She didn't notice him at all. But then, she dropped her scarf. He reached down, picked it up, and their eyes met. Something flickered. She thanked him politely and moved on. But later that night, she returned. Sat at a nearby table. Watched him. The next day, she returned again. And the next. Neither spoke. Neither asked. But both felt the weight of something unspoken. Finally, after nearly a week, he reached into his bag and held the letter out to her. His hands trembled. She hesitated, then gently took it. But before she could open it, a gust of wind tore it from her fingers. It landed in the street. And in the chaos of a passing delivery truck, it was gone. Gone before she could read a single word. She looked at him, stunned. He smiled softly, tears in his eyes. "It's all right," he said. "Maybe it was never meant to be read." She sat beside him, not needing to ask questions, not needing answers. And they stayed there until the cafe lights dimmed and the city grew quiet. From that night on, they met often. Sometimes in silence. Sometimes in conversation. Slowly, her memories began to return. Not fully, but enough. A laugh. A favorite poem. The sound of his voice. She never recovered the letter. And he never rewrote it. Because now, finally, he didn't need to. Sometimes, the words we never say shape our lives more than the ones we do. Would you open the letter or leave the past behind? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story of love, loss, and the moments that slip through our fingers. Because not every story needs a perfect ending. Some just need to be remembered.